How do you deal with admissions rejections? So it's application season. Obviously, some students will be accepted into their programs of their choice and some will be rejected. So it's never a good feeling when you receive a letter or an email from the school that you've always wanted to go to. But the letter indicates that you've been declined into admissions, and this can definitely take a toll on your confidence. So how do you pick yourself back up and move forward with your life? From someone who reviews applications for the undergrad and graduate program, I can tell you that oftentimes when students are rejected, it's not because they weren't good enough. In the instance of grad school, for example, where there's only a finite amount of spots, sometimes we also take into account the student's personality or whether or not we think their goals align with the program. And some students may be rejected on that premise, where we think their goals and interests are better suited for another program. We don't think our program is the right fit for them. So there may be instances where you are an excellent student, you do have excellent extracurriculars or experiences that you can bring to the table, but you're being rejected because the school didn't think you were a good fit. And not so much because you weren't an excellent student and that you didn't have something that the other applicants could bring. And obviously in the day and age of social media, it's so easy to kind of do a quick Google search or a Reddit search and see that there are students who are getting 100% admissions into all the programs that they're applying for. And whereas you're reading these online forums and you're thinking to yourself, I'm being rejected, and you can kind of go down the rabbit hole of thinking you're just not good enough, but at times this might not be true. So how do you make sure that you succeed moving forward? So first and foremost, you need to kind of be in a more confident mindset. You need to believe that you are good enough, because if you don't believe that you're good enough, then this is going to show in all the applications that you have to answer questions for, or in your letter of intent, or even if you have an interview for the program, it will show that you don't have confidence, and this will bring your marks down in terms of the applications. So make sure that you're in a confidence mindset, because this will carry on in all aspects of the admissions process. And the second is you want to look at and try to figure out as much as possible whether or not you were declined because you weren't a good fit for the program, or if you were declined because there is definitely something missing that schools are noticing as a gap for you. So how do you determine that? So I would encourage students to reach out to the programs that they've been declined and see if they're willing to tell you why. Some schools do give comments on how you did in your interview, and some might not. So it really varies from program to program. So as a first step, reach out and see if they're willing to tell you why. If not, then you can also look at the number of admissions and rejections you're getting. I think if you're getting rejected in all programs, then this may be an indication of there is a gap missing, or some sort of skill set or experience or something you're not doing well enough in the applications that's leading to all programs to reject you. So try to figure out what those gaps are and try to find a solution to kind of improve yourself so that in the next admission cycle you can apply again and try to upgrade yourself. And if you are applying, for example, to 10 programs and 5 are accepting and 5 are rejecting, then I think that's a better sign to kind of tell you that you are a good student and you do have good experiences you can bring to the table, and the 5 rejections might just be a matter of fit again, or you might have been just a little lower on their applicants ranking list. So nothing to be too upset about. I think in the latter example, obviously if you didn't get into the program of your choice, it is still upsetting. But try to move on. Try to see what else you could have done better. What in the next between now and the next submission cycle can you do to kind of improve the skill sets and experience you can bring to the table in your next application round, and also try to look at what other additional projects that you can kind of work on to kind of show the admissions committee that you are ready for such a program and that you are a good fit. But also recognize that even if you do apply this year and you don't get into any programs or the program that you really wanted to go to, it's not a be-all, end-all situation. There's always next year. And of course, some students might really want to go into grad school or university or college right after high school or undergrad. But taking a gap year is sometimes a good thing. It lets you explore yourself a little bit more. It lets you explore what other options are out there for you, and you might find a different career path that's better suited for you that you wouldn't have otherwise found unless you kind of took that gap year. So everything always happens for a reason. Don't look at any rejections as a disappointment. Look at it as an opportunity to learn and how you can do better and upgrade yourself.